So see the mess here? This is the result from the day of rage. And I'm gonna tell you the story about how that happened and why that happened. Yes, it's a huge fat mess, but it all starts with the snowblower. About 2 years ago, a friend of mine gave me a snowblower. So he gave me the snowblower because it had some stuff wrong with it and the drive wouldn't work. So I had to replace the clutch or whatever, the drive wheel that engages with, I think the belt or something, I can't remember. So I fixed that snowblower and it was working great. Had great success with it for a season or two. So fast forward to December 2019. All right, so when I was building the she shed, I had the floor of the shed on the concrete driveway, and I was using one of these ratchet straps like this to square up the shed because the floor wasn't sheeted yet and I needed to have it square before I nailed the sheets down. So I was using a ratchet strap like this from corner to corner and from corner to corner, 2 of them, so I could get the shed square. So after using the ratchet strap and to square up the floor of the shed, I left the strap on the concrete. Fast forward a couple weeks later, we get a pretty decent sized snowblower blowing around the driveway, blowing the snow off the driveway. All is good and fine. So I was using this to blow 1.5 feet of snow, kind of a lot of snow. No, maybe not 1.5 feet, maybe a foot. And I was just going around and I sucked up a strap, okay? A strap, like a ratchet strap, a 2-inch ratchet strap, and it went, just made a mess and broke this sucker. So see that there? Whoa! But it just jacked up the whole thing. Broke this little, I don't know if you call this a differential or whatever you call this, the transfer case. I think it was a transfer case. So it broke this transfer case. I've kind of been out of a snowblower for a little while. So I look online and I'm like, okay, I can fix this, no problem. Part for that thing's $250, and I'm like, oh, for $250 I can put that towards a brand new nice snowblower. And then I thought to myself, oh, maybe I might find a part from the landfill off an older snowblower. I might be able to get lucky and find a part. The next day I go to the landfill, not specifically looking for a snowblower, and I happen upon this guy. Okay, it was all crunched up because the machine kind of puts all the metal in a pile. As you can see, it's in bad disarray. But I brought it home because I was like, maybe there's some parts off this machine that I can harvest and fix this machine. I don't know. This is a Craftsman. This is a Yard Machines MTD. This Craftsman very well could be an MTD machine. I'm not sure about that. So I bring it home. Fast forward about 2 weeks later, I'm tearing the whole thing apart. So I'm gonna start tearing this guy apart and seeing what I can transfer and seeing how I might be able to make it work. Huh? I've got parts from 2 snowblowers hanging out everywhere, okay? So I tear the transfer case off, the old one, tear the transfer case off the new one, and pretty early on I can tell that this is not compatible. It's not gonna work. So let's compare these. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's quite a bit different. That's quite a bit smaller there, so that's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to harvest everything from here off of there. So, oh man, that's not gonna be easy to get that off of there. I'm like, okay, these are 2 different machines. One was a Craftsman, one was a Yard Machines MTD, and I was thinking, well, maybe Craftsman is MTD, I don't really know. So what I ended up doing is I had parts all over and I was gonna just transfer the spline shaft, the transfer case, the auger, everything from this machine over to this machine. All was going well, okay? When I'm doing these projects, sometimes this doesn't always turn out right. They don't always turn out right, folks. So make a long story short, I pound on the spline shaft to get the pulley off. And I was pounding on it and the shaft had soft metal and the splines, I mushroomed out the splines on the spline shaft, and so I was not gonna be able to get the pulley back on there. After giving it some thought and thinking about it and having parts and pieces all over the floor and having the damaged spline, I said, so I'm gonna give up on this project for now. I am gonna come back to this a little bit later. I said, screw this, okay, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this. I will buy a new snowblower. And I was just done. I had already put in 3 or 4 hours tearing it all apart, dealing with the old snowblower from the landfill and whatnot. And so I was pissed and I said, you know what, I'm done. So I gathered up all the pieces, like literally 100 pieces all over the floor or more. Took it back to the landfill. So at this point, I'm basically screwed in saying that I don't have a snowblower that's going to be able to handle the heavy snows. So now fast forward a couple more weeks, okay? The snow is Ooh, I saw a vole. I saw a vole in there. I saw a vole in this pipe right here. So watch that, the end of the pipe over there. So watch the end of the pipe over there. I saw a vole go in there. See, there he goes. So the vole should be right back here.
What?
Watch this. Oh, he's gone. Probably went under the mower. Let's see if he's under here. See him? See him? Oh, he went under there. Wonder if he'll be able to get out from under there. All right, so fast forward a couple weeks later, and the snow is starting to pile up on the driveway. I'm not wanting to shovel it, and so it's just piling up on the driveway. And in the meantime, I've got this back patio here that's piling up with snow, and I have spent more time editing and spent too much time on the she shed that I have not taken the time to actually properly shovel the driveway. And mind you, I've got a little chihuahua about this big, and she is a fantastic little item. She's got to come out here to take a leak all winter long, and unless we shovel the driveway and shovel a little spot for her to go, then things are bad. So I do have the snowblower here that my dad gave me. This is about a 1992 Craftsman single stage snowblower, but it's broken right here, okay? It's just broken because I put it through the ringer. So this snowblower just really isn't designed to be doing anything over about maybe 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches. When you get up into the 12 to 18 inches, it's just really not the machine for the job. It's not designed to throw snow far, and it doesn't do a fantastic job. You end up breaking it. My wife was using the snowblower out on the front, and this ended up breaking like this. That's no big deal. All we gotta do is just put the bolt back in there and screw it on. Not a big deal there. In saying all this, I don't have a snowblower, okay? So all of my patio right here is all nasty. Got tons of snow all over it. Everything you see on the lawn here, all of this stuff was on the patio. All of this firewood was on the patio. Those firewood logs right there, those are from the cottonwood trees that I took out. And the plan was to put them back here, use the log splitter there, split them up, and then take them in the house to burn them. The time got the best of me, and I wasn't able to get to splitting them in a proper amount of time. And so they remained right here on the concrete. I'm out here shoveling, and these stupid logs are right in my way. And so I'm shoveling, I'm hitting logs, and it's really, really annoying. So you gotta imagine to yourself the snow being about this high because I've been taking the snow and piling it over here in the driveway. Drifting snow really sucks, okay? And so the wind would come through here, and the wind blows in this direction. The wind was blowing like crazy. The snow, it would blow it into these drifts right here. So there's a drift probably from here over here for about 10 to 12 feet. We've got 4-wheel drive vehicles here, folks, and my wife's driving that thing, and it's getting stuck in the driveway. She can't even get out of the driveway because the drift is so tall. So let's fast forward to the night of mayhem, okay? I had had enough with the snow. I was pissed off because it was snowing, and then that day it snowed. Probably the biggest snowstorm of the year. It snowed like 18 inches in one day. Pretty ticked because the snowblower's broken. There's 18 inches of snow, and I just did not have it in me to go and shovel that by hand. I decided I'm just gonna go get a skid steer from the rental shop. Go down to the rental shop, get the skid steer. And I'm like, okay, this is sweet. I've got the skid steer, I can clear everything, and I can clean up everything all nice. So I bring the skid steer over the driveway, I'm cleaning it all up, and all is well, right? So then I come over to this section, and it's all full of snow. I'm taking all the snow, and I'm clearing it from this section and piling it on the lawn. And I've got this big old pile of snow here and over there. Lots of snow piled up. So I get the parking section done, and I'm like, screw it. So I just end up taking the skid steer right down this lane right here. So I'm clearing out all this snow on this walkway right here, and all's well. My wife's standing over here on the porch. So she's standing over here on the porch and she's like, hey, you broke something. I'm like, oh crap. Turns out that this little sprinkler right here that goes right here, I slammed into it and broke it because the width of the bucket was wider than this lane. So there's one over here and one over here that I ended up breaking, which really sucks. So now I got to deal with that and fix that. So then I got greedy with the scenario and I'm like, screw that. I'm taking the skid steer to the back porch because guess what? I've been unable to shovel that snow on the back porch. I didn't want to do it by hand and my snowblower was broke. So I got a little bit bold and I decided to bring the skid steer on the lawn. That was mistake number one. You can never take heavy equipment on the lawn because it's just gonna leave huge ruts. So I bring the skid steer back here and you gotta remember that all of this wood was on the concrete over there. So I'm bringing the skid steer through here. I'm ramming it through this snowbank. There's a snowbank that's right here that's fairly tall, maybe 2 feet tall. And from all the snow that I've piled up here. So I dumped a whole bunch of snow back here in a pile over here. So I get the machine turned around and I'm heading back over this direction. Lo and behold, I get stuck, okay? I go over this bump right here because there's a big old pile of snow and I get stuck, okay? Can't go forward, can't go backwards. I am stuck. Turns out, so this piece of crap log was the root of all evil, okay? So that log got underneath the skid steer and it was high centered. And I'm out here with a shovel trying to dig out the skid steer. My wife's out here digging out the skid steer with me and we're both kind of pissed. All right, so I am not able to get the skid steer out and I've realized that there's a log underneath because I've dug and dug and dug and then I finally realized that log's underneath. So I go get a bottle jack. After about 45 minutes, I'm like, screw this. I'm gonna go get a bottle jack because there's no way I'm gonna be able to get that log out from underneath. I can't lift the machine. So I put the bottle jack right here and I'm cranking on it and it's pushing this down in there. I'm like, oh crap. So now I've got this hole now that I have to deal with that's right here. I'm lifting up the skid steer. I'm pushing the log with the shovel that's up underneath the machine. Eventually, I get the log out of there. I'm like, and at that point, I was just pretty pissed actually, because I was like, the log, 45 minutes later, dealing with the stupid digging it out. So I get back to work and I get back on the concrete. So I'm pushing all the snow off the concrete and this big old pile right here. I don't want the logs on the lawn because they're gonna ruin the lawn. But the pile of logs were here and I said, screw it, I don't care, I'll deal with it in the spring. So I just get the skid steer and I just push the logs up onto the lawn there because I just wanted them out of my freaking hair. Pushing all this stuff, that table right there, this rug, those were hanging out over here, buried in snow. So basically I'm trying to clean up this whole area, and with the skid steer you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And if you can see, this patio is not terribly huge. So I'm kind of being really careful not to hit into anything and break anything. And I was like, you know what, this isn't gonna turn out good, but I'm just keep working and working. So I grabbed the skid steer, I grabbed this table. So the table was over here. I just grabbed it with the skid steer because it was all iced in, couldn't move it. So I just picked it up with the skid steer and pushed it out of the way over there. I just picked it up with there and just pushed it. The rug, you can see the snow under there. That's how the rug got there, was with the skid steer. So I was trying to be super delicate with this table because we actually use this table and it's a fantastic table actually. So this broke right here, but if you can see, that got bent. This kind of got out of whack here. I do think the table's fixable, but it's just gonna take a little bit of work to make that happen. Now I've got these ruts right here through my lawn, and those are making me mad because of the skid steer. I'm working on everything, and then all of a sudden this happens. I back the skid steer right into the house there. It didn't do too much damage, but it did tear up this piece of trim. This one looks like it's okay, but I am gonna have to replace this piece of trim. So it should be pretty easy to fix, but still, that's just really annoying. Now all of a sudden I've got this to deal with. What was supposed to be just a routine clearing of this patio turned into a bad day, and I ended up damaging the house. That's the worst of it. The rest of it I don't really care about, but I was just so mad that I was just like, oh, let's get this crap out of here. It's in my way. All of this stuff was just all on the driveway. So once I got that done, I decided to take the skid steer into the back because I needed to have that all cleared out so I could work on my shed. I need to be able to take my truck back and forth into the back. Look, here's the remnants of the mayhem, okay? Right there, the Weber kettle lid to the barbecuer. It's all damaged, and the skid steer got the best of that thing there. Just was an unpleasant experience that day, and it all because of that stupid snowblower. Had the snowblower worked and had it not been damaged, I probably would have just been able to use the snowblower on the back patio and on the driveway and not have to get the skid steer. So kind of turned into a double whammy for me, unfortunately. Renting the skid steer, and now I've got to pay money to fix the house, which is really annoying. Anyways, that's kind of the story of how it all went down, and kind of where I'm at today with the situation of all this junk on the back lawn. So the wood over there is that cottonwood, nasty wood there. It's not really great for burning, and it's all wet, so like it's green wood. So I didn't end up getting to it because I ran out of time to split it and all that, but it's green nonetheless, so it's not great wood to be burning. So that's pretty well it. Haven't made any real great progress on the shed in the past few days because I've been wanting to work on the lawn and I've been doing lots of editing. So anyways, I think that's it. That's good enough for you guys. So that's kind of the story of how it all went down. And now I've got a big mess on my hands to clean up, which is not a big deal, folks. This is what you call real life. This is hashtag real life. So I do know that in the online world, there's lots of pretentious stuff going on, only showing the best, only putting your best foot forward. And so that's really kind of what I'm trying to get away from. I really want to show you the real life world of what I'm doing here. So this is really what I'm dealing with here, folks. It's not all peaches and cream. Yes, I work hard to make it all happen, and yes, I've cleaned up the front, but I haven't spent hardly any time back here. I still have to blow all this crap out of here, clean up all this crap, and I've got lots of work ahead of me. It's all good, you know, it's not a big deal. Nothing to get all stressed out and worried about, but well, I will make it happen. So you guys are the reason that I do this, and I appreciate you guys watching my videos. So that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.